I love shaker peg racks. When I went to Shaker Village in Pleasant Hill, Kentucky, I took a lot of photographs of them. They help you utilize a lot of unused space in homes. Here's a small peg rack I built 25 years ago for my son, and most of my shops have had peg racks in them. So when I got a request to build a 32-inch long peg rack for little kid coats, I was overjoyed and went off to the shop, searched through the woodpile, and then got into my drawers to find my shaker peg collection. I had 10 pegs that were the same and 5 pegs that were a little shorter, so 10 pegs it is. On to stock prep. We start by jointing one edge on each board. Then we go to the planer, smooth out each side, and get a good surface. Now to the table saw to rip them to width. By the way, this is a very nice, clear poplar. I like working with poplar. It's a great wood and inexpensive. And then to the miter saw to cut to length. I get my compass and set it to a 3-inch radius. That's a nice, generous radius. Here's a tip for doing layouts. Once I got the 3-inch radius set, I put the point on the corner and I mark on each side where 3 inches is. Then I go to each of those where it meets the edge and I swing the arc. That's the simplest way to find the center of a 3-inch arc. Little tips can make your life easier. This is real-time speed with the bandsaw, and the trick to getting a good cut on the bandsaw is to look an inch and a half behind where the line hasn't cut, and that way you feed properly into it. If you look just at where the saw blade is cutting the wood, then you go off track. This is a good trick that works for me. Now we're going to lay out where the shaker pegs go. We have to drill holes, so we want to get it right. I used blue tape because I don't want to mark on my freshly sanded and planed board. I'm lazy. I don't want to take out the pencil marks when I get the layout wrong, because oddly, occasionally I do get it wrong. I always start at the ends, and I inset each end peg by 1.5 inches. I don't think it looks good to have it evenly spaced, clear across, so I use 1.5 inches on the ends. Not too close, not too far. Now I do the math, figure out what the spacing is between the 2 end pegs, and then sometimes I cut a board to use as a spacer. This is just a quick layout hack, which makes it easier to get everything the same. Again, I'm math-averse. Here is a tip to speed things up when you're drilling a hole pattern. I take a board and I align it with the center of the drill bit. Then I make a mark on my fence to where that center point is. I then take a square and raise it vertically so that I can see the line when I have the board against the fence. Now I drill a test hole in the same kind of wood because shaker pegs that you buy all fit differently. So it's always good to make sure you've got the right size hole. Good news, that fits perfectly snug, just the way I want. Now it's time to drill. You can see the marks on my blue tape. You can see the marks on the fence. And now you can see how quickly I can move down the board to get even spacing without having to measure anything while I'm drilling. Work smarter, not harder. A quick test. And this looks pretty good. I'm happy with this spacing. Now it's time to put 1/4 inch round over on the edges to make them nice and smooth. I do it on my router table. You can see I've got a metal pin, which I use to start my part against, and it just makes it a little easier and less likely that the router bit will grab it and move it or throw it. Now it's time for everyone's favorite, sanding. I used a random orbit sander with 150 grit. Trick is to make sure you get the radius into the roundover good and smooth and visually appealing. The black mat is supposed to keep the parts from sliding around while you sand them. It helps, but it's not perfect. They say if you put a few drops of water underneath, it helps it stick better. I just didn't do it today. Now for assembly. I use the table edge to help me align the parts. I clamp the two together so that now when I drill my screw holes, I get everything aligned properly. I always like laying out where the screws are going to go so I get a nice even pattern. It just looks better. The devil is in the details. I use plastic wood to cover up the screw heads. It's a cheat, but it's an easy cheat, and I'm a little lazy. It's a lot easier than using dowels to cover the screw heads. I forgot to hit start on the video for when I installed the shaker pegs, so here's another video of me just smacking them to make sure they're seated. Be humble. This looks pretty good. I'm very happy. I used 150 grit and the random orbit sander to smooth the plugs. Next is finishing. I used water-based stains. I tried Provincial and Black Cherry and made a test board sample to see which I like best. The Black Cherry on this poplar looks really good. I used a foam brush to apply the stain. I put it down on a section and then I wiped it off quickly. I used both paper towels and rags. Wipe on, wipe off. I chose a beeswax and a mineral oil for the final top coat. I thought this would look great. I wiped the wax on all the surfaces, and then I let it dry for 15 minutes. Then I came down and wiped it off gently, just to remove the excess. I waited another 15 minutes, came down, and did the same thing. Rubbed all the surfaces gently. That evening, I came down one more time and gave it another rub, just to polish it a little bit. I then let it sit overnight, and the next day, I gave it a good buffing to try and raise the luster a little bit. I think this looks very good. I'm very happy. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and ring the bell. I appreciate you watching the Johnsonville Woodworker.